Somewhere in the world, there is a country called Ireland. Welcome to Ireland.
Ireland is an independent country that its population estimated at 51 million people. Ireland could be considered as a modern and developed country. Ireland practicing the parliamentary system of government, where it is applied to both nominal and real types of executive in the government. Firstly, the King of Ireland is the nominal executive, where he constitutionally enjoys all powers in executive authority, but limited authority in administration of the country. The Prime Minister is the real executive who carries the actual administrative activities in the country. This is Ireland's Parliament House. Parliament House is where the 222 MPs elected by the citizen work. Parliament has four main functions, as it is the place for the legislation process, representation for citizens, debates the current issue, and the formation of government will be conducted. So what is the method of forming the government in Ireland? In Ireland, the general election will be held once every 6 years. It is the citizen's responsibility to take part in the general election to vote for the party that is capable in holding the authorities in the government system. The party who gains the majority votes by the citizens will be appointed as the new government of the nation. However, this situation rarely happens in Ireland. The last general election in Ireland was in 2017. During that time, there were 5 political parties that competed in the general election. They were Abnegation, Amity, Candor, Dauntless, and Erudite. After the voting period ended, here are the results. As the parliament in Ireland consists of 222 seats, this result seems that there are no single parties that win the majority votes by the citizens. So, here comes the function of the informator. Informator explores which parties could form a new government in order to lead the majority members of parliament. Therefore, Informator of Erudite decided to make a coalition agreement with Amity to form a new government called Divergent, in order to get the total number of majority seats in the parliament. They also discussed the new policy of the government. The coalition parties will appoint one member of the party to be the formatter who is responsible in putting together the new government. In most cases in Ireland, the formatter will become the new Prime Minister. In this case, the leader of Erudites, Marina J, will become the Prime Minister of Ireland. She will conclude the discussion and divide up the ministerial portfolios. Next, she will choose the individuals from the coalition party to serve as ministers or state secretaries. Once the whole cabinets are complete, the members of the new government will attend an inaugural meeting where each minister and state secretary will sworn in front of the king to confirm their support to the coalition of the agreement in forming the new government. After that, the king appointed Marina J as the official 11th Prime Minister of Ireland. And that's how the current government of Ireland was formed.
There are several characteristics of parliamentary government in Ireland. Firstly, there are two types of executive in parliamentary government, which are nominal and real executive. For nominal executive, the King of Ireland will enjoy the constitutional power in executive authority, while for the real executive, the Prime Minister will conduct the governmental activity. The second characteristic of parliamentary government in Ireland is the Prime Minister is the one who will lead the cabinet of ministers. As for the current Prime Minister of Ireland, Marina J is the one who will lead the cabinet members. The third characteristic is there is no distinct separation of powers, in that the legislative and executive power in the island government will not separate and it overlaps. The last characteristic is the Prime Minister can be removed by a vote of no confidence from the Parliament. This situation had happened to the seventh generation Prime Minister of Ireland, David Cobb, where he got the vote of no confidence from the Parliament due to his corruption scandal around 2009. Therefore, a new election had been made to appoint the new Prime Minister during that time.
How the government operates in terms of its policy. The legislative authority in Parliament comprising the King and two houses of Parliament, which are House of Senate and House of Representatives. Members of the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives consists of 222 members chosen after the election by the people of Ireland in age not less than 21 years old. Ireland people vote for politicians to represent them and their ideas, and the leader supports the interests of the citizens. Members in the House of Senate. The Senate comprises 70 members appointed by the head of the state, which is the King of the island. The term for Senate members is 3 years and has two conditions, namely age 30 years old and above, and not affected by the dissolution of the Parliament. Who can be the Speaker of the House of Representatives? The House of Representatives shall, from time to time, choose a person who is either a member of the House or qualified for election to be the Speaker, and shall transact no business while the office of the Speaker is vacant other than the election of a Speaker. The Speaker need not to be a member of the House to be elected as the Speaker. Who can be the Deputy Speaker? For the House of Representatives, 2 Deputy Speakers must be appointed among the members of the House. Who can be the President of the Senate? The President of the Senate is appointed amongst the members of the Senate itself. Who can be the Deputy President? The Senate shall from time to time choose one of its members to be Deputy President of the Senate. If the Deputy President is absent or his office is vacant, such other member as may be determined by the rules of procedure of the Senate shall act as President.
If there is a law needed to be made or amended in the land of Ireland, it must follow its legislative process. The legislative process begins with a bill. A bill is a proposed or a draft act. A bill could come from a ministry, members of parliament, or even a senator. The bill then needs to be introduced in the Parliament. A bill can first be tabled either before the House of Representatives or the Senate. After the bill is tabled at one house, it must be tabled in the other house. Before becoming an act, the bill goes through these stages. At the first reading stage, when the minister or proposed the bill will introduce the bill to the Parliament. Only the long title of the bill will be read at this stage. Stage is the second reading. At this stage, the content of the bill will be debated at length and discussed by all members of the House. This is when other MPs can seek explanation, propose amendments, or propose the bill. If the bill receives the requisite numbers of votes, it proceeds to the committee stage. At the end of the second reading, the House resolves itself into a committee on the bill. This stage is intended to allow members the opportunity to discuss the detail of the bill and to propose any amendments in less formal proceeding. When the discussion is completed in the committee, the minister moves a motion to report the bill under consideration to the House. If the motion is accepted, the House will resume sitting, and this brings the committee stage to an end. The minister or MP who proposing the bill will submit the bill to a vote. If more than half of the MPs or 2/3 of the number of MPs in certain cases approve the bill, the bill is considered passed. After the bill is passed by the House of Representatives, the bill is then sent to the Senate, where the same process must take place. If the bill is passed by both houses, it is then presented to the King for approval, which must be given within 30 days. The King approval is called the Royal Assent. If the King does not assent within 30 days, the bill automatically becomes an act. Finally, before the newly enacted law shall come into force, it must first be gazetted or published. And that's how the law is made and amended in the land of Ireland.